I've been walking this path on my own. Then you appeared like a light in the unknown. Not in the words we always say, but in the silence we find our way. I've been waiting for a friend like you, someone to share the words so true. No rush, no need for the world to see, just you and I knew where we're meant to be. In the jungle we found our place, a steady trust, a peaceful space. We don't need to chase the stars above. We got a rhythm, we got enough. Every step we're not alone. With you beside me I find my home. I've been waiting for a friend like you, someone to share the words so true. No rush, no need for the world to see, just you and I where we're meant to be. In the jungle we found our place, a steady trust, a peaceful space. I've been waiting for a friend like you, abundance, honest, pure and true.
One day, he sent her something, an offering from his own world, a piece of handiwork that spoke to his inner thoughts, his reflections on presence, and the fragile beauty of opening up. It wasn't a direct request for intimacy. It was simply a gesture, an offering of his own vulnerability in a form she could digest without the pressure of conversation. He had always known that connection wasn't about pushing. It was about allowing the other to feel safe enough to move closer in their own time.
She watched it, letting the words wash over her, and something inside her stirred. The jungle had taught her how to survive, but it hadn't taught her how to trust in the unfamiliar. And yet, there was something about his approach, something about his calm and understanding, that felt different. It felt like a space she could enter without fear of being swallowed whole.
Afterward, she reached out. "I want to meet you." "Regularly," she said, her voice hesitant but clear. It was a step, a small but significant movement forward. The words surprised him. He hadn't expected her to take that leap yet, especially after the vulnerability he had shared. But it was a step nonetheless, and a hopeful one at that.
He didn't change his pace. He didn't rush to fill the silence with words. Instead, he gave her the room she needed, letting their meetings unfold gradually, with no expectations, only presence. He understood that this was the jungle they both navigated, one where trust was built, not on grand gestures but on quiet, consistent steps. Each week, their encounters grew longer, the space between them narrowing ever so slightly. She began to open up, not in ways that demanded immediate answers, but in small, tentative ways. The way she would look at him just a little longer, the way her laughter seemed a bit more genuine, the way her words started to carry more weight, more depth.
In time, the jungle didn't seem so vast. The edges softened, the unknown less intimidating. The pool that once seemed so deep began to feel less like a threat and more like a place to wade in, slowly, at her own pace. And for him, he was content in the uncertainty. He had learned that the journey wasn't about reaching a destination. It was about moving through the jungle together, with no rush, no pressure. The connection was real, even if it wasn't always visible. It was in the spaces between the words, the shared silences, the unspoken understanding.
The jungle was a place of hidden depth, but also of quiet growth, and together, they were learning how to move through it, step by careful step.